We are one justice away from a Supreme Court that will strike down every restriction on abortion adopted by the states. We are one justice away from a Supreme Court that will reverse the Heller decision, one of Justice Scalia's seminal decisions that upheld the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
Ted Cruz, during Saturday night's South Carolina debate, issuing a stark warning to gun owners. If President Obama is able to name a replacement to the Supreme Court to succeed Justice Scalia, it could spell real trouble for the Second Amendment. Here to exercise his First Amendment rights on the Second Amendment, Skyping in from Washington, the former advisor to Senate Leader Harry Reid, the host of The Agenda on Sirius XM Radio's Progressive Channel, Ari Rabin-Havt. Ari, as always, we appreciate your time on Newsmax Prime. Justice Scalia even invited his liberal colleagues to come learn about guns, to take up target practice and hunting. The NRA, Senator Cruz and others says, well, you heard what Ted said, just one justice away from a Supreme Court that could significantly change Second Amendment rights. Is that a reasonable interpretation of what is going on?
I mean, this Supreme Court had a number of 5-4 decisions, among them the Heller decision, of which Justice Scalia wrote. It is a seminal decision in terms of the Second Amendment. Now, I would say the idea that there is going to be some mass gun confiscation depending on who the new Supreme Court justice is a bit exaggerated. I don't think any candidate, Republican or Democrat, would engage in that type of policy, regardless of what the makeup of the Supreme Court. I mean, but if you're going to talk about the Heller decision, yes, that was a 5-4 decision that Antonin Scalia wrote.
Well, let's take a look at the current occupant at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You understand both politics and policy, and every time we have seen a mass shooting, the president has come out and spoken about gun control. The Congress did not move forward on it. He has tried to move forward via executive order. Now, whomever is named, if the president gets his way, we can presume, even if, and some have said he might have a centrist choice, though I have my doubts, we can expect someone who would be sympathetic to his point of view and might look the other way with executive orders. Could that not fundamentally change what happens with our Second Amendment?
No, I don't actually think it does. Because first off, what Barack Obama wanted to do, even in the policies that he didn't implement, his most drastic proposed policies were slight limitations in terms of background checks, right? And probably the most reaching policy would have been the assault weapons ban, which was a policy supported by George W. Bush. So the most sweeping gun policy that Barack Obama proposed was one supported by George W. Bush. I mean, which gives you an idea of where we are on this issue right now.
Well, let me turn to the Senate. You know that place well. You used to advise Harry Reid, and of course, Harry and the Democrats adopted the, quote, nuclear. They went nuclear in terms of naming appointments to the lower courts. Now, when they were able to get their way, suddenly the Republicans are going to be wrong if they try to stop President Obama from appointing another justice. Certainly you see the inherent hypocrisy in Harry Reid trying to have it one way for his party and then suggesting something else for the other party.
Well, here's what's wrong. If Republicans want to have a vote to block a Supreme Court justice, I will disagree, and I'm sure we'll have a great debate and conversations about why that particular case. I think they're doing the wrong thing, right? But, you know, that is well within line of the history of how the Senate advises and consents. The Senate blocked Abe Fortas. The Senate blocked Robert Bork. The Senate has blocked a number of people who presidents wanted to appoint to the Supreme Court. That's not what's going on here. Before news of Scalia's death had even spread, you had staffers on the Judiciary Committee tweeting out that the chance of this going through that committee were zero. Before Barack Obama is even close to naming an appointee, Republicans, without looking at the person, saying, is this the right person to serve on the Supreme Court? And if Barack Obama appointed somebody and Republicans want to say no, I think that's well within their prerogative, and we'll, of course, disagree.
And we will have to end it right there. We will have to end it right there. Ari Rabin-Havt, let me say thank you. Your comments coming up tomorrow night. For now, my final comment, stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.